brand new Sonic trailer in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, what's up? We are back at it again. I am PG and I have my usual suspect to the left of me. Introduce yourself, bro.
Hey everyone, this is Johnny.
Yep, and it's been a minute since you've last heard us, but it's only been a minute because it's been 2 years now since the last Sonic film. Sonic the Hedgehog has come out and it's now everybody's favorite time of year once again, where Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the film, is premiering in theaters on April 8th of 2022. So John, 2 long years we had to wait for this. They did announce the second film shortly after the release of the first film. That kept us hyped, kept us wanting to come back for more and stuff like that, and we finally about to make it in less than a month. At the time of re-recording this is going to be released a little bit more closer to the film. But yeah, we about to make it and we about to watch it. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I've seen just one trailer, prior to the second one that we viewed not too long ago.
Right.
And I can say that my impressions were of general excitement. I was not worried at all. And I was very much on board with whatever decision Paramount made, because not only did they actually include Knuckles, which was speculated from the first movie came out. Everyone was like, okay, Tails is in it. And that had me a little bit worried, because I know that sometimes films, what they do is they add a little hook at the end of a film where they're trying to get people to come back to the second film, but sometimes that film's not made. And so you're just left with that little dangling hook, almost like you want to have a sentence but there's no full stop, and it's like, where's the rest? But lo and behold, we have Sonic 2 coming out, and I am thrilled. But I am happy, again, I'm happy that Knuckles is a part of the film, because we all speculated that Knuckles would have been in the film. And do you recall that we had a discussion, and I was the one who's actually opposed to Knuckles being in the film?
I was like, going to mention that, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember on our last discussion. I can have to look through that footage, and I can try to pull the clip up right here. If I don't find it, we can just skip over it. But yeah, you did say that on the last discussion. You was like, it needs to be Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because, we want to go in order and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, man, he could be in the film. They trying to say.
Yeah.
But that was fun. That was funny.
it was, because I wanted...
And now look at you.
I know, I wanted Sonic 2 to be about Sonic and Tails and their developing relationship. And I felt like putting Knuckles in too early would end up taking away from that. It could have been a film about Sonic's budding friendship with Tails, and it could also follow some of the events of the second game, the second Sonic Genesis game, and maybe some events from earlier, I think it's Mega Drive. No, there's another system that predates the Genesis. I think it's the Mega Drive.
Master System.
The Master System, yes. Mega Drive is the Genesis. No way. The Master System. So maybe they could have incorporated some of the Master System's plot. Like, I don't know, Triple Trouble?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I guess, hopefully, they don't cram too much into this by saying we have Tails and then bringing on Knuckles for real. But from what I'm seeing in the trailers, it doesn't look like it's going to be too grim. It looks like it's very faithful to, like, a match between Sonic 2 and 3, which I could dig. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the introduction and the companionship between Sonic and Tails needs to be heavily like established in this film, because a big selling point is the fight between him and Knuckles, and that was a big time around the time when the games came out too. Honestly, like Sonic 2, a lot of people say Sonic 2 is one of the better of the first trilogy of the early Genesis games, but everybody knows that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is honestly where it's at with those games.
I think we can all agree Sonic 3 and Knuckles is everyone's favorite, though people like to pretend Sonic 2. The Hedgehog 1 is. Not 2, 1. And I think what people really like from Sonic 1 is the Green Hill Zone theme. That's it. That's literally it. There is no reason other than to understand where Sonic's mechanics first came about. How they first came about. I don't think anyone would want to explore that game unless they want to get into that. Sonic 2, I'm a little biased here. I first played Sonic 2
Yeah.
around the time it came out. My parents got it for me. I didn't start off with Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Like with many people who were probably old enough to play video games and have motor skills were able to. Sonic 2 came out the right time.
Right.
I was 4 or 5. I could use my 2 human hands to pick up a controller without putting it in my mouth. So I was able to play the game, and enjoy it. So I'm biased by that. And then there was the inclusion of Tails. I always liked Tails. Tails was very much made for kids.
Yeah.
He was very much made to attract children like me when I was 4. Because I always found Tails to be one of my favorite parts of the Sonic 2 game. Because he could fly, but you couldn't use that ability for some reason. Sega didn't program that in.
Right.
You didn't get that till 3.
Right, we didn't get that through 3, which is a big drop of the ball, in my opinion, because it's like, y'all promoting a double-tailed fox. And he flies when he's as the AI, but you can't manually control it. It's like, come on now.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
I don't think they fleshed it out as deeply.
much. Right, because unless you playing the versus battle back in those days on that game, the split screen thing, remember you only could operate Tails for like a fraction of the time. You had to be at Sonic's whim, honestly. And if your older cousin or your older brother was playing a Sonic, or whoever older playing a Sonic, bully you with a controller, you barely could be playing his Tails too. So like you say, they didn't really flash it out.
No.
Unfortunately.
But that's the thing with this trailer though. And this trailer didn't put too much emphasis on Tails. Not a lot. I think Tails is only in 2 shots.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think the bigger marketing bigger marketing scheme is the rivalry between Sonic and Knuckles, which is why I think they're gonna touch a little bit. Well, you can see elements if you watch this final trailer. The final trailer that came out. This is the trailer that we are referencing, everybody, in case you didn't know. I can have clips up on the screen or whatever, obviously. But this is the final trailer that came out. What was it? March 14th. Yeah, it came out on March 14th. But you could definitely see throughout all the trailers that I've watched, you seeing the hints of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but you could definitely see it's heavily based more so on Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is, in my opinion, understandable. So in a sense, you do get your Sonic the Hedgehog 3, even though the number isn't 3, unfortunately.
No, I'm getting my Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in my 3, which is in my 2.
Yeah, so that's the thing there. Like I say, yeah, once again, they had the funny thing is they did have the echidnas in part 1. I remember that now. But
they were a tribe.
Right, it was just a tribe. They had the actual tribe. And I remember asking this on the last podcast too. I wonder if one of those were Knuckles. And I don't know if they're going to explain this or if there's going to be a flashback to that particular scene in this film. I hope they would do something towards that in this film, because they did have this owl statue. That's the next thing about this trailer. The things about the owls in these 2 films, Long Claw, and then they have this owl shrine now, what looks like it's supposed to be in the center of the Mystic Ruins or whatever. I never known the Sonic lore to be so heavily based on owls. Like I was telling you as we was watching the trailer, the only owl I remember was in the original video animation where Sonic's, I guess, caretaker or the owl that lived in him, the old kooky crazy owl. That's the only other reference of an owl I remember throughout the whole entire history of the Sonic franchise. Now, I haven't read a lot of the comics, so maybe there might be an owl in there, but I don't know.
Nah, you read a lot of the comics. That owl never made an appearance in the Archie comics as far as I am concerned. However, there is something that before we get too deep into the owl, there's something that I wanted to just address. It is the matter of Knuckles. So Knuckles is being voiced by Idris Elba. Now Idris Elba is in his 50s, I believe.
Yeah, he should be all like on the cusp of.
Yeah, he's around that age,
right.
And that means it gives Knuckles a very menacing voice, very deep, very much a man in his prime. He's been doing this for a while, and it begs the question: will he be around the same age as Sonic? Because we know in the games they're around the same age,
right.
But they don't have voices, so that doesn't give us a lot to work with. And I'm not saying that having a deep voice means you're automatically older, but having a deep voice, that sounds like you have been around the blocks and you've been punching people in the face for a good while.
Right.
Would entail you to have that kind of wisdom, or at least have some age over the protagonist, which is Sonic, Sonic convincingly sounds like he's young, like either a guy in his 20s or a teen.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be a teen,
right.
So.
And the thing is, yeah, in the first film, he was that much more younger too. Like, it seems like he did age a little bit in this film, but he does seem around the same age as he was in the first film, which was even a younger Sonic than the actual canonical Sonic of 16 that we know. And like, yeah, to your point, Knuckles does sound a whole lot more older, maybe about mid-20s, even 25 or so.
Maybe things are rough on Angel Island, you know, like they have a rough state of living, you know, the cost of living is so high, you can't
Gas
afford
prices
this.
going
Yeah. No, robot prices, and these two animals to pilot now.
Real. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I was just telling my cosplay group today, Lord bless Paramount for doing this justice. I am totally convinced that this is the best video game franchise, best film based on a video game franchise ever in history, in my opinion. I know that's a bold statement to make, but really look at all the films based on video games. The thing that comes closest to, I think, is the Detective Pikachu movie, the Detective Pikachu film. But I love the heart and the passion that Paramount Films have put into marketing and presenting all of these trailers, all of the flyers. I don't know how much of the flyers you saw. Let me show you one cool flyer right now. I'll put it up on the screen once we get in there. Look at that. They recreated this.
Oh no, I have not seen this one.
Yeah.
I've been keeping myself Sonic free for a while.
I give you the spoiler, but you have to see this. Come on, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the actual film. There's some things about it.
Yeah, let's do some
not the film, but the trailer.
Right.
I noticed there. Here's something that really struck me. I noticed that Dr. Eggman / Robotnik / Julian Kintobor, for those who read the Archie comics.
Julian or Ivo? This one is Ivo or Julian?
No, his first name was Julian or Julius Kintobor. It's supposed to be Robotnik backwards.
Right, I know.
That's the Archie one, but that's not canon anymore.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Right.
Or Mr. Fix-It from the new IDW one.
Right.
But I do notice that he's sporting a sleeker look. The last movie, which it's contrast with him getting bigger, depicted him big, and this one he's now slim. So I'm wondering if he lost some weight, he signed up to the gym in Mushroom Hill Zone. I don't know, could be some things going on that allowed him to slim down, but I was really looking forward to a much more portlier Robotnik. To go with the Eggman. I guess if you're sticking with the Egghead thing, then Eggman will stand, because you know Sonic gave him the name Eggman, like he gave the protagonist, one of the protagonists, dubbed Pretzel Lord.
Right.
Was it Pretzel Lord?
Yeah, I think it's Pretzel Lord and Donut Lady.
Donut Lady, yeah.
Right.
Or is it Donut Lord and Pretzel Lady? Yes.
Yeah.
I got mixed up. I have not seen Sonic the Hedgehog in a while.
Right. Yeah, we was backwards just now. I don't know how we get so backwards. I kind of like the sleek design on Robotnik, honestly. I think it works with the flight suit that he's wearing and stuff like that. Although I am kind of baffled why they didn't go with the eggier shaped design of Eggman. Honestly, because by this time in the games, well, all of his appearances in the game, he was egg shaped, like a little bit more pudgy and big. So I don't know why. Maybe that might be just a choice on Jim Carrey's behalf or whatever. But yeah, like at the end of the first film, he was a little bit more egg shaped. And I thinking they might actually put more weight on him once more films start to come out, maybe. I would say almost hopefully. But that's not a deal breaker for me. That's not there for me anyway, because once again, Jim Carrey plays the part so well that you could actually oversee it. That they didn't make his character design as faithful as it was in the games and the comics and the cartoons.
I don't know how much interference Jim Carrey really has when it comes to filming. Mm-hmm. I know some actors tend to have some pull. They'll be like, okay, I want my character to say this. I know Robin Williams, he did a lot of improv. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Jim Carrey has, or if any, influence over his character, but it could also be something that's a bit more practical. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Master Emerald has something to do with it, which was shown in the trailer.
Right.
and it looks to be that Robotnik is going to be empowered by that magical energy that exists within the Master Emerald. And I'm really curious because, you know, this will be the first time in Sonic media history where a human has channeled the power of a Chaos Emerald.
Right.
In this case, the Master Emerald. And I really would like to see where this goes. But there's something that really cued me in is that color coding. So, you know, Sonic is blue, but not just blue, but electric blue.
Right.
And then there's Knuckles, who uses like an electrical red aura. And then there's Robotnik, who uses an electrical green aura.
Yes.
We can say, yes, that's from the Master Emerald. But I found it very interesting that they chose that color with him. I know it doesn't mean much now, but the fact that color gives power.
Right.
And maybe that has something to do with the emeralds that they wield. Maybe within Sonic, he has the power of the blue emerald, Chaos Emerald, that's within him. Whereas Knuckles probably was empowered by the red Chaos Emerald.
Probably. Yeah, because we don't actually see any direct shots of Chaos Emerald, or I might have missed it. But that's one thing we did mention while we was watching the trailer too. Like, we see shots of the Master Emerald, of course, but there's no actual direct reference to Chaos Emeralds. And I was wondering if they might be in this film. So I like your analogy there, where I would hope that the Chaos Emeralds would be connected, and thus hopefully we could see Super Sonic at the end of this film, like we did mention in the trailer too.
Super Sonic is definitely something that can either be done really well or can look really tacky. I know that right now Dragon Ball has remained popular and has always been one of those series that Sonic has drawn inspiration from, with careful, I guess, homage to the Super Saiyan using Super Sonic. But I don't know how they'll get it to work on screen if they do it. Maybe they could tone it down, maybe change up the design a bit. You know, not too on the nose, green eyes, blonde fur. But if he does make an appearance, it would make sense because the appearance of the Death Egg robot normally is comes alongside or incorporates elements of that supersonic battle.
Right.
So we may be looking at that.
Yeah, definitely. And with that kaiju level, look of
big.
the Death Egg robot, I don't think normal Sonic and the Tails biplane would they be flying around the tornado. I don't think that could be able to take that down. I mean, you see the heavy artillery on that thing, how much missiles that shot.
Yo, listen.
And then one of the missiles knocks Sonic off the tornado clean.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That looks like King Kong. It looks like King Kong.
Yeah.
That was a King Kong. I was watching the trailer and the only thing I was thinking about is, can this thing beat Shin Godzilla? Have you seen Shin Godzilla?
I seen Shin Godzilla, bro.
The Japanese one, not the ones that are now. I'm talking
You can
about.
pull it up on the Google too.
He looks more monstrous than the regular Godzilla.
I know the time.
Yeah.
I can put it on the screen too for the thing, but let's pull it up here too.
Yeah, it looks like he could beat Shin Godzilla. I recently watched that film. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, right.
That's the one.
I've
I recently
seen it.
watched the film again. I think my third or fourth time watching it. Each time I watch it, I pay extra attention to details. And the only thing I could be thinking about is, who can take him out? Because, you know, he's not just one entity. He's going to evolve into an all-encompassing life form that will take life. If you never watched any of the possibility films, those possibility videos about what the film can do with the character, now I'm wondering, man, I wonder if this thing could fight it. I know it's not relevant, but
right. But I mean, that would be actually an interesting spin-off, because remarkable work what they done with the Death Egg robot here. It's accurate, but it does look modern, and it does look very sleek and very menacing, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, it looks better than the games, in my opinion.
Why do you think it needs to be so big, though? Like,
I don't know, but that's what I don't understand. Like, why they make it so big, but I'm happy they did. Like, playing the games, like, literally up until, like, I think the Death Egg was in Sonic Generations, right?
It
wasn't.
was?
Yes,
it was.
Right.
It was.
He did fight it, and it was kind of more based on its first appearance in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and even the scale in that game didn't really make me fathom or think about it to be on such a big scale in live action. The first time I ever saw it, I was like, whoa, they did some really good work with this. Like, I would have never imagined to think that it would be that big. But when you really think about it, it really should be that big, because it was in a space station, it was in the Death Egg, up in space and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, but that thing has to be larger than life for real, you know. And I think they really did it justice. They really did it justice. All of the missiles, the graphics on it too. I think the graphics
definitely.
are really nice. The design is really nice. It's a nice modern design, sleek, and it still has them beats of like the old that thing. So
what I really wish though, and maybe you can get the internet to bully them into doing this, it may delay the film for like the next couple of months, but if they got more red onto that Robotnik, the Death Egg
I see what
robot.
you're saying. Yeah, it
Like,
was a little bit gray.
It was very much
Mechanical, super
industrial.
mechanical,
Yeah,
right,
very grungy, dirty, grimy. You know, just got that touch of I guess you could say heavy metal. If Sonic was rock or techno, if Sonic as a franchise, or at least the second game was rock and techno, then this movie is like heavy metal because that looked really grungy. Like,
Super grungy.
but I liked it. I liked it.
And the next thing we did notice inside this trailer was Knuckle beats up Sonic a lot. It looks like he can be brawling with Sonic a whole lot in this film, and it looked like Sonic could be toting it in this film.
But it'll be just like the third game. It'll just be like Sonic
Yeah.
3 Knuckles, where
Right.
Knuckles makes an appearance and does some mischievous foolishness that sends Sonic into another zone that he doesn't want to be in, because he could catch up to Robotnik, but Knuckles just comes out of nowhere and be like, "Oh,
Some more
you thought
track,
you
right?
were on the track, but it was I, Knuckles, and you were sitting on the pathway to aquatic zone."
Right.
Pulls lever. If they don't have that in this movie, there'll be a lost cause, man.
0 out of 10. Film did not have the lever of Knuckles.
But tell me, how did you feel about like the Sonic Adventure style vibe we got to it? Because especially that
the ice
the
cap
snow.
section, right?
yeah,
Definitely,
snowboarding.
definitely. The first time I saw this trailer, I was like, yeah, that's a Sonic Adventure type vibe with him fighting the robots inside the little ice cavern, and then when he emerges, he uses like a scrap metal piece as the snowboard. Definitely Sonic 2-esque there, so I was loving it. I like the little nods to Sonic Adventure 2. But even back from the first film, you know, the city of San Francisco, obviously it's a direct reference to the city escape and all of that stuff too. So I like how they kind of mixed it up with obviously the classical film story and following the storyline from those, but giving nods to, I can't even say, I was going to say the modern era, right? But then the modern era is literally speaking towards something else in Sonic terms.
You know
the
what?
Dreamcast era.
You're right, and you just made me realize that may not be the Sonic Adventure ice stage we're talking about. I don't remember what it's called.
No, don't forget, all ice stages in Sonic is called ice caps. So,
Yeah,
yeah. In Sonic 3 it was ice cap, and then in Sonic Adventure it was ice cap.
maybe it's the same ice cap.
It is the same ice cap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So ice cap zone. Okay, so we have. So yeah, it's ice cap. I believe it's pointing more towards the third game's ice cap zone.
Yeah.
Though both games do, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 3 do feature an avalanche,
Yes.
and this one does have an avalanche, or it looks to be an avalanche-esque
Right.
style chase.
Right.
But it definitely I don't know. I was thinking of Sonic Adventure, maybe because the film is so realistic.
No, like I say,
you know.
It did hit the Sonic Adventure beat, because that's where I went to first when I saw it too. Remember, he did take the scrap metal from the robot and then he used that as a snowboard. I remember he did do that in Sonic Adventure too. So I think that's what got you on the Sonic Adventure thing.
Right.
That's exactly where I went to when I first saw it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Sonic Adventure. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. There was Ice Cap Zone, but he had an actual snowboard in that. And then they didn't show Knuckles chasing him in 3, but maybe he might have been chasing him down the avalanche in Sonic 3, and that was just never seen.
Okay.
And I like that Knuckles even snowboarding now too. And
You
he
know
punches
what?
him in the face again while he's snowboarding.
Knuckles never snowboards.
Right,
Does
unless you're thinking of unless we go with the non-canonical, I would say Sonic Riders. But
Was Sonic Riders non-canonical?
I would hope
Can-
so.
can
I
you-
would hope so.
Because it seems like every game follows a loose cannon.
Right,
No
right.
pun intended. But every game
Right.
follows a loose cannon, and there are events that Sonic can conjure up when dealing with another event that's similar. But it doesn't seem like it follows anything in any particular way or style. Though I will say that Sonic having a cannon would kind of raise the question of why is he still 16? Which
Well, if Ash could stay 10, Sonic could stay 16.
Oh, that's
And
magical BS.
I know, yeah, they did actually increase Sonic's age by 1, because he initially started off at 15, and then he's like, oh, 10 years passed? You aged 1 year, Sonic.
10 years in our years is just 1 year in Sonic's years,
Hedgehogs.
whatever.
Yes.
Wherever they come from. I'll just say maybe they live extremely long lives.
Maybe hedgehogs might live extremely long lives. One thing I didn't notice inside this trailer, although I know she's in the film, is
Maybe the
Pretzel.
humans in Pokemon too.
That's another theory for another day, because that's an actual theory. But yeah, I didn't recognize Pretzel Lady. I know Pretzel Lady is in the film, but I don't even remember her calling her at the wedding. Maybe she was sitting right by Donut Lord.
She was the one who probably crouched down to help Sonic initially. Remember, they didn't show much of the other humans in this trailer.
Yeah.
They focused everything on Sonic and Knuckles, and primarily Knuckles.
Robotic,
They
right?
needed to market Knuckles. Knuckles
most
is
definitely.
a fan favorite character.
Yeah, Knuckles is the bull.
I have an idea for what the third film could be about, but this can be controversy.
All right,
I'm
hold
gonna-
on, before we get
I'm
into
gonna
that.
wait for we.
Right,
Yeah, I'm gonna
because
wait.
we have that on the lineup to come later down the line. Do you remember anything of the first film?
Yes, actually,
Yeah?
I remember the bar scene.
The big filler in the middle. That was, oh man. I actually, now looking back at that, because I obviously watched the film numerous times. I have a Blu-ray DVD of it and all.
Broadway on show.
Going back and watching that, I sat down, and as much as I love that film, I feel like they really dragged that scene on way too long. Minus the bullet time thing going on when he slowed down the entire, well, he's running super fast and the whole bar looks slow. Minus that, everything else still was like way too long, babe. It was obvious convenient padding when you look at that. Doesn't spoil the film in my opinion, but I wish that could have been condensed a lot more. And that kind of answers, it kind of starts the answer to my question what I have here in our notes is, did I think that the first film stands the test of time? Of course I would say it does stand the test of time. It's only been 2 years so far, but I still think it's one of the best films based on a video game. Prior to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think it was the best actual film based on a video game. Now it's going to take the second place spot, obviously, because I have so much faith inside this film. I know it's going to do well, but besides everything else besides that bar scene, I think it does stand the test of time.
I don't know, man. That bar scene is revolutionary.
Prime film, right?
That was
prime
prime
content.
filmmaking.
Right?
But
Doesn't get any better than that.
the thing is, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, the first movie, it wasn't an incredibly great film.
No.
It wasn't the worst film. It was a nice, okay, watch it with your family, watch it with your kids, watch it by yourself film. It doesn't do anything crazy. It doesn't add that much to the franchise. What it did do, and what this film series is doing right now, is it's getting Sonic's name back out there and putting him back in front of audiences, and not just from the video game side of things, but from a mixed media side of things, because now we have Sonic the Hedgehog, we got the merchandise still going and circulating, we got kids being introduced to Sonic through the movies. Nowadays we have people being reintroduced to the character again. They probably stopped, a lot of people probably stopped following Sonic after, a couple of years passed. You outgrow certain things. I outgrew Pokemon, and I haven't been keeping up with the anime nor the games. The last game I purchased in Pokemon was X and Y. And X and Y came out many years ago.
Yeah, me too.
We're not on Violet and Scarlet or whatever.
I agree.
Obviously, it's just game on. We have these ones coming out too.
Right.
It's like
Yeah, the last one I bought was X2, and I barely bought that only because they was like, they was so heavily focused on like the original 150 and all of those, whatever was going on. But yeah, it is revitalizing, the franchise, and it's getting Sonic's name back in the public in a good light. Although I never want to say that his name was, not that I don't want to say that his name wasn't out there in a negative light. You know how, everybody's going in the fan base and just in general, they saying, oh, none of the games been good recently, blah, 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 whatever you may have. with people trashing and dogging on Sonic or whatever. But it is doing a good thing, like you said, for the franchise right now and for the reputation of Sonic, honestly. One point I do beg to differ, which you did mention though, was in terms of the lore, it actually is doing something a little bit different, where this is a unique perspective of Sonic lore in terms of his introduction and his story that we haven't necessarily seen. You know, him actually living, well, we know he was living on Mobius and all of that stuff. And then
Longclaw.
Right. That's what he was talking about. Yeah, and the Longclaw thing is, like I mentioned earlier, it's like, nobody ever knew Sonic to have a guardian.
Yeah, because I had to remind you Longclaw, because we were going to forget about it.
Right. So that was a kind of weird thing, you know?
It's giving me Sonic Saturday AM. The young people say it's giving me.
Yeah, she actually does give me that kind of vibe for real, huh?
Yeah, like Longclaw remind me of the good old days back when there was the Freedom Fighters, there was Mobius, there was Sally Acorn. Mm-hmm. There's all these fun characters that got me involved with the Sonic world. And Longclaw, I know people might say, oh, what is this owl doing in a Sonic movie? Mm-hmm. But you're not looking at the bigger picture. Owls hunt rodents, okay? But this owl is taking care of one.
Good point.
Which means that, and it's the only one, which means that this owl is a special character. There's a temple that features this owl.
Right.
And maybe it did not even come from the same world that Sonic came from. Here's my little pet theory, little string pet theory. I believe that every world or every ring takes you to a world that has a dominant species or a dominant life form.
Okay.
Humans are the dominant life form in our world.
Right.
But in Sonic's world, he's the dominant, his species, or maybe hedgehogs are the dominant world people. Then there's the echidnas. Maybe Sonic's not even from where we saw the first movie. Maybe he's from somewhere else and Longclaw took him. Maybe he's an immigrant. Maybe Longclaw is an immigrant too. Maybe Tails is an immigrant. Maybe Tails is an illegal immigrant. Who knows? All I know is Sonic is an illegal immigrant.
Right. So yeah, hopefully, maybe in this film they might flesh out the backstory behind Longclaw. They're definitely gonna flesh out the backstory of how Tails came about and how they both met. Because I remember at the end of the first film, it was like Tails already knew Sonic, or maybe that might just be like a bluff, trying to throw us off course. When Tails is like, "I sense him, he is here," and then he goes and flies off. He could be talking about, maybe he might have been talking about Robotnik. Honestly, he might have sensed Robotnik from where he was, and he might, they might meet and then be like, "Oh, you trying to take out this guy? Yeah, I'm trying to take out this guy." I don't know, we have to see how that goes, but that just kind of popped up in my mind as I was talking randomly just now. Nice.
I personally think that, let me see. I personally think that Tails was probably meeting Sonic. Probably, because maybe Sonic is a little bit more special than, the first film made it. No, I'm lying. I'm lying to myself. The first film did make him to be a big deal. He was a big deal. His power was a big deal. And maybe Tails was told legends of Sonic. Maybe Sonic is a legendary figure to Tails.
Yeah.
And he's traced him so far here. And if they do not make Robotnik a rival to Tails, like an actual rival, then I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna do well for Tails' character. Tails works best when he also has something to fight alongside, and I think him thwarting Robotnik would be one of those things that would bring more enrichment to his character. But
I actually agree, because him at least being a thorn in Robotnik's side, he might not have to physically slow him all the way down to stop him, because they can still give that privilege to Sonic. But I agree with you, because as Sonic is taking care of Knuckles, because they definitely could be bucking heads a whole lot, Tails gonna need something to do. He can't match Knuckles' strength. Sonic has the speed to at least match Knuckles. Tails, he ain't going toe to toe with Knuckles. So yeah, him being a rival to Robotnik would be actually a good way to get the both of them constantly in action and give something for Tails to do. So I do agree with that. I definitely do agree with that. Now, moving on to the next part of the discussion. Shortly after I think the first trailer, or the first couple trailers of this second film was announced, Paramount did make a bold move to announce that Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the film, is already in production and on the way. And I think we might be hopefully we can get it in 1 year, but if it's taking 2 years, I just want to get it. So what do you think about them making that bold statement of Sonic 3 is in production and on the way?
Well, I think one thing with Hollywood is they could say something's in production, and then they can actually say something has been produced thus far and it is going to come out. There's lots of films that have been in production but got cancelled. There's been films that were picked up by companies and were cancelled. There's films that were being worked on and they almost got it out into theaters and it got cancelled. I think there's an X-Men film that kept getting delayed to the point where it might as well have been cancelled. Wonder Woman suffered from that too. Wonder Woman kept getting pushed and pushed. But that's an example of a film that cannot be cancelled. But Sonic 3 can be cancelled. If Sonic 2 doesn't do good, Sonic 3 is going to be vaporware.
To that point, I feel like Sonic 2 definitely is going to do really good because Sonic 1 really did good, which is why we're getting the Sonic 2 now, which was happy that it did great so that we got this film. Sonic 2 definitely can do good enough for them where they don't have to cancel production. And I honestly think incorporating Knuckles into this film actually may have helped them to shoot a lot of scenes for the third film, which is why they was able to say something like that. You know, to me, I honestly feel like about 75%, no cap, 75% of the shooting for part 3 probably was shot in part 2 anyway. So like a lot of leftovers that we don't get in this story or unanswered questions probably gonna be in part 3. That's what I seen it as, for them to be making such a strong statement to say, hey, Sonic 2 ain't even come out yet, but we got Sonic 3, you know?
I was gonna make mention of this before we decided to push this topic about a potential Sonic film to this point in time, but I wanted to say that
Yeah, man, go back.
they could possibly adapt Sonic Adventure, or they can go down the route of introducing either older characters like Find the Sniper, Find the Sniper.
Right.
There's a Viper character, I think. I think it's supposed to be
so.
Find the Sniper.
Yeah, it's Find the Sniper. I don't think there's an actual Viper.
There's nobody named Viper? Anyway, they could introduce other older characters that are obscure. They could either expand the world, they could go dig into Archie, but I'm not sure they want to do that. I'm not sure if they can legally do that because they're not canon anymore.
Right.
Or they can do this, and this is going to be controversial. I'm about to say it's going to be so controversial. Don't hit me, don't hate me, don't hunt me. Shadow and Sonic 3. Hear me out. Hear me out. So, we're looking at a sunny San Francisco summer. It's a summer sunny day in San Francisco. It's a tongue tie twister, whatever. And Sonic has just come from thwarting all of the evils that has taken place in the second movie, when all of a sudden a bank explodes and this black hedgehog that's clearly black pops up on the screen, and he declares that he's going to steal all of the Chaos Emeralds because that's where they put the Chaos Emeralds, in a bank. Makes sense. Then the news media catches wind of this clearly black hedgehog with upturned spines and says it must be Sonic the Hedgehog. And as he dashes away, you see a hint of bright yellow trailing behind him. Now, why people would think that this is Sonic is because in the second movie he turns into Super Sonic and defeats Robotnik, which happens to get broadcasted all throughout the United States of America.
Right.
Now, the plot's gonna take a turn for the worst when this clearly black hedgehog is going from banks to banks, stealing Chaos Emeralds, and now all of San Francisco is gunning for this blue hedgehog named Sonic. And it can turn into one of those films where the main character has to clear their identity while also discovering who is responsible for being their doppelganger. And then it kind of goes down the route of Sonic Adventure 2, including all of the foolishness about space and ultimate life forms. And that could set us up for a redemption of Sonic 06, the movie. It'll be Sonic 26. Because it'll come out in 2026, Sonic 26.
Sonic 26.
But that's a joke. I don't want Shadow in any of these films. I don't want Shadow anywhere near this kind of Sonic.
I mean, honestly,
he's too edgy.
I wouldn't. Yeah, he is very edgy, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't put it past Paramount, because it looks like they have sense to not do that, because they know how the fan base react. They definitely know how the fan base would react to that, because we bullied them into literally remodeling Sonic for the first film.
Yo, catch this.
Right?
They can have Jaden Smith play the role of Shadow.
But the thing is, in the first film, there were gun soldiers, so that was another hint to the Sonic Adventure series. So I could see where the door could be open for that to happen. You know, one other thing too, we was joking about it, but then I always never actually understood in the Sonic Adventure 2 game, was it really that people? Because for the life of me too, I was like,
I know what you're gonna say.
Black, red spines and black, and his hair is stylized. I was like, do they like not see that he's black, or is it that they just thought Sonic changed his looks, like he did an edgy type look and dyed his fur? Because that makes sense. But if he was literally supposed to be a black hedgehog, I was like, guy's black.
Well, there's two canons. There's two head canons for this: the humorous one and the logical one. And I'm gonna go with the humorous one first.
Right, the humorous one.
People just can't tell the difference between hedgehogs. The way some people say, I can't tell Asians or black or white people apart.
Description: he's a black guy.
Description: it's a hedgehog, a walking, talking hedgehog. Oh, that's Sonic. It must be Sonic. Different voice, wears skates, is menacing and black with a white patch of fur on his crest.
I go with too, because I was like, there's no way they can't see that he's black.
You know, Sonic Adventure 2 made me gaslight myself for years, being like, maybe he does look just like Sonic, and I'm not seeing it.
I almost got into that realm too, right? Because I was like, okay, I could see they saying the eyes and maybe the muzzle, but I was like, dude's black.
Now,
it just used to keep coming back to me. It's like, and that's like I say, I was like the logic. That's why I keep going on it. I was like, okay, logically, Sonic may have just dyed his fur, and that's what they think it is. But I honestly thought it was. I think it was the funny canon for real. I think it was just people stupid. They was stupid.
Well,
because that always used to bother me. It's like they can't be that stupid.
Logically, though, the logical reason would be this: Sonic does
even
make
Amy,
changes.
But see, that's the funny thing. Because even remember in Sonic Adventure 2,
Love
when
makes
they
you
was on
blind.
the metal armor, he was clearly black, and Amy gone and hugged him, and he was with Eggman at that point. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
The S in their names could confuse people too. I mean, Shadow the Hedgehog, his abbreviation is SH, or if you want to go for a signature, S Hedgehog. From the Sonic, S Hedgehog. Oh, this guy could be Sonic, S Hedgehog, S Hedgehog.
No, you know what? That's the piece of damning evidence right there. Because Amy went and hugged him. She would have obviously known that Sonic wouldn't have changed his looks. That means everybody was stupid.
Like, doesn't she have like super senses of smell? I mean, like, they're hedgehogs.
Right. So
they're not humans.
Was honestly stupid.
You can unsmell that this is not Sonic. But here's the thing: the logical explanation, though, is that Sonic did make a dramatic change in Sonic Adventure 1. He turned Super Sonic. He was golden. When you see a character like this make such a change like that, it's not something out of character, right? For another character who looks very similar, by virtue of them being the same species, to be known as that character, because there's only been two hedgehogs seen so far.
Right.
Third one being Sonic, Shadow, but they've never seen Shadow before. He just appears.
Yeah, he did just appear. So
you can't just say who is this new hedgehog.
That's
Remember, this is a world, or that portion of the world is populated mostly with humans, with these animal critters coming out of nowhere, and they're saving the world, and people still don't trust Sonic.
Right.
They don't trust the events.
Yeah,
That's like if if Chaos just rampages through our country, and we see a pot cake beat it, and it turns super, and then just beat it, and then a couple of months later we see another pot cake with similar kind of abilities, just robbing banks. We're gonna we might just assume that's the same pot cake, and that he was always evil, and that this thing was just in the way.
I guess. I now see that jogging my memory to other things too, because now I remember, which I kind of debunked in my head at the same time simultaneously while I was thinking this just now. I remember in Sonic Heroes, they did have the news article where it made it seem like he was stealing Chaco LaChow and I think a Chaos Emerald, and they had the big news clipping, Hedgehog steals all in a lot. But I remember in that newspaper clipping too, he didn't have his spike stylized up like Shadows. So then I was like, oh, they still stupid.
They're still stupid.
Clearly. Well, we ran on with that too much. But yeah, hopefully Shadow doesn't come to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But what do you, if it ain't Shadow, where do you think they could take Sonic the Hedgehog 3 to film?
They could take it into more territories unexplored in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This film seeks to do two things. It seeks to bring together the plot lines of Sonic 2 and 3, but there are certain plot lines in 3. If you play as Knuckles has his own plot, his B plot.
Yeah.
Tails just follows Sonic's A plot, but Knuckles has a separate B plot. They could go into the B plot part, because remember, the Master Emerald is a really huge emerald, or they can go into the Super Emeralds. That after some event, the emeralds got empowered to become Super Emeralds. They could even go on a voyage to different worlds, different zones, where the key is to getting different artifacts to prevent, Eggman from awakening Chaos or whatever. I think that if they do not take the silliness behind adventure games and stick it to the more, I guess, Looney Tunes-esque of the original games, they can make Chaos into something that is like Cthulhu, should not be called upon, but its awakening can be prevented.
Right.
I liked Chaos up until Chaos became a dragon. I felt keeping Chaos cartoony and looking similar to Sonic was one of the, I guess, more interesting design choices that, as a kid playing the games, I found more favorable. I do think that if the plot were to go in the direction of Sonic Adventure, that they can lean heavily on the ancient echidnas and how they were protecting the Master Emerald. Because let's be real, Sonic Adventure is a cult classic now.
Yeah.
It used to be a legendary game, but because of all of the bugs and all of the clunky gameplay and the cameras, it's more like something that a niche group of fans, aka Sonic fandom, are asking for a return. Though there is Sonic Frontier, which gives me some hope that we will see adventure.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to the point of Chaos design, I totally agree with that too, because it did seem quite dramatic, like from the 6th transformation of Chaos. And then when he got that 7th Chaos Emerald, it was just like, once again, another kaiju just ramming through the scene, like, wow, that dude that disruptive, like, where did this come from? He was like a cinch through the entire game, and then it's just like evil destruction, destroy the entire city. And even when they beat him, it was just like, bruh, look at the city now, dog. Like, that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think I totally want them to go the Sonic Adventure route for the 3rd film. And like you said, they should have Chaos in it where, unless need to be called upon or whatever, they could make him menacing, just like the Death Egg robot, but who knows? Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
I need to think about a little bit more about Sonic 3. No, I honestly only could see it going the way of Sonic. I think Sonic Adventure would just be the most practical and sensible way to go for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It just makes the most sense. It's the best part to go, because I don't see them going. But like you say, probably touch a little bit more on the end game of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and then what came after that was Sonic Adventure, right? Yeah, because nothing was on the Sega Saturn. Of course, they would do Sonic 3D Island, Flicky's Island, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yo, I forgot about those games. Sega Saturn. Actually, they could. No, they could. They could introduce the Flickies as a power source, because keep in mind, if Robotnik cannot power his robots using the emeralds, what is the next logical choice? Flickies.
Right.
And I want it to be where Flickies contain the same energy signature that Sonic has, but in a more bird-sized, inhumane way. So he's going to capture these things, force them into robots, and he's empowering these robots. And that could be a plot point in which Sonic has to return to his roots, be it via the old I was gonna say level. The first scene from the first movie, that old scenery level looks like Green Hill. He gets a chance to return there because Robotnik is now putting his focus on mining for the Flickies.
Right. One thing we didn't touch on during this whole episode here is I do like the attention to detail where it seems like all of the scenery is like zones. So they're giving you like a zone feel of the game. Like they went from the Green Hill Zone, like you say in the first film, and now they have the Ice Cap Zone, and they have like the Mystic Ruins. Yeah, and I did see another trailer where Sonic was like going through like a bunch of spike balls. It looked like he was literally running through an ancient temple in the zone, and the traps was just coming. So it does have that gamey feel. I give them that much, you know. And then the boss battles even feel like video game boss battles and stuff like that. So I definitely like the attention to detail that they are playing there. So as we wrap up, your final thoughts about everything so far about the Sonic the Hedgehog film franchise. Now, shoot.
I feel like this is going to blow my expectations out of the water, of which it's very low. I also feel that
makes it easy.
Yeah, I also feel that this is going to boost Sonic's popularity a lot more. What we may get from this is a TV series. We may even get
well, we have a Netflix series coming. So.
Yes. I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that. It could hype up the Netflix series more. It could also encourage Sega to produce more Sonic games or allow other teams to take on the challenge of creating a Sonic game. Hell, we might see a Sonic Mania 2, which I would enjoy because they can incorporate different aspects of the other games,
right,
a la Sonic Generations. Because Sonic Mania just played like Sonic Generations but 2D.
Right. If
you really think about it.
Yeah.
And I hope that when this film premieres, because there's going to be a Knuckles spin-off.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah,
I know about that.
We'll talk about that on another show.
Yeah, definitely we'll talk about that on another show.
There's going to be a Knuckles spin-off, so that means that, the test audiences for this film were very favorable, which allowed them to greenlight another film, Sonic 3. Yeah. So I'm having high hopes for this. I'm hoping that this boosts the popularity of Sonic. I'm hoping that you get better games coming out, more games coming out, different people putting their best foot forward and creating new games. And generally, I hope that Sonic reaches an even more broader audience than before.
Yeah, same sentiments there. Couldn't have said it any better, but I do regret to think what could have been, because I still honestly miss, I just have to put this in there, because we always just talk about this when we talk about these things. I honestly miss bad design sonically. I really wish they still would release, right? I really wish that they would still release a director's cut of the bad version of Sonic before the fan base bullied them into switching the designs, right? Because honestly, I was thinking about it right before we came on. I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? The first film still would have been just as good. I mean, not to say I would have been appalled by the Sonic design. We wouldn't have known better, that they could have done better if we didn't bully them into switching it. But at the end of the day, I was ready to stomach it, honestly. And the film would have been great, But hindsight is 2022, what we're heading now, and thank the Lord we did get the different design. I think that's the double-edged sword about it. Because we got that different design, it made it that much more better, and it's like, oh man. I had to draw it. The complete sketch. Really? Yeah,
some human lips on it.
It was like, ah, man. But I was ready. Once again, to reiterate that, I was ready to stomach that first design. I was like, you know what? I see what they was doing. And then it was like, new design. And it's like, all right.
That was a bankrupt company. Not gonna lie.
You really think?
Yeah.
I know. I honestly really think the film would have been really good. And because we wouldn't have known better, I mean, well, technically everybody did know better, which is why everybody asked for it to be changed. But I think the film would have still done the numbers. No, I lie. I think people wasn't gonna
it was
come
creepy,
because,
it was scary.
Right, yeah, I think people
It scared
wasn't
kids.
Yeah, people wasn't gonna come because the design it looked bad. So, good job, Paramount. But I still would have watched it, of course, because I was a son. And that's the thing. I think the strict fan base would have still been watching it anyway, so they would have made money, but just not as much. And I think a part
I had to try.
I think a part 2 may have still been greenlit off those numbers, but they did the right thing.
Not with this gremlin.
Well, the world will never know. I still wish that hopefully after all this is said and done, they do extra features. Well, on my Sonic DVD, I didn't watch the extra features yet, so I should go back and watch that and see where that came from. I would be able to answer those questions more, but oh well. Anyway, we have come to the end of this podcast without no name still. We still need to find a name for this podcast. It always comes up every time that the Sonic film comes up.
Podcast no name.
Right, we need to do this more frequently. We definitely going to do a follow-up episode, obviously, after we watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Because why not? We did it last time, so we have a follow-up episode in the works, everybody. So join us once again for that. Once we do that, hopefully it'll be out within a week's time of the film if we're able to watch it in time. But whenever we do watch it, we're going to have an updated version of our complete thoughts of the entire film. What was good, what was bad, what was ugly, and everything Sonic related, and maybe some more thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So, without further ado, let's close this out. Say goodbye to everybody, John.
Goodbye, everyone, John.
There we go. And this has been PG. And if you would like to watch more content on this channel, or you could catch this same episode on the Non-Bae channel, I will leave the link in the description below for that. But check out the rest of the content. You could actually check out the first podcast that we did. I will put them up on the screen in the end card. So give those things a listen and go check out the Non-Bae channel. So without further ado, this has been PG, your favorite Non-Bae, signing out. Peace.
Listen!